Hello, Cancer. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Tarot Grand Lux by Ciro Marchetti. There's a website for Ciro, usgamesinc.com. So if you're interested in any of that, feel free to check it out. Just in case you couldn't see Ciro's name, how it's spelled, there you go. All right. Supportive Oracle Cards, You Are Clairvoyant Oracle Cards by Belinda Grace. Illustrations by Elaine Marzin. Website is rockpoolpublishing.com.au. A as an apple, U as an umbrella. Okay, what do we have for Cancer? Are we still dealing? Okay, it seems like something might be a little stagnant. Might be. Let's go a little farther. I'm almost thinking, are you fearing the end of this? Something feels very stagnant here. These three cards are the cards that you got on your side. Cthulhu, Kuan Yin, and Oneness, which have a very similar vibe for me, what I'm catching to right now. Is kind of like looking at the situation and questioning if it does end. If it does end, is it really that bad? That seems kind of harsh. Is it time to let go? It's the Ten of Pentacles reversed telling me how much value is this? This fell out while I was shuffling. Ten of Pentacles reversed, Ten of Coins in this deck. It's questioning value. When it's upside down, it's really questioning if that value is really there. Is it really worth it? Or it's almost like I'm coming out of the fog. Like maybe it's a situation I put up with for a long time and I really believed it was worth it for the longest time. But lately it's kind of like I just kind of feel like I'm just sitting here in the water and it's stagnant water. And it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like stagnant water if you leave a dish with too much water in it for maybe, say, whatever reason you leave it there for a week. Typically it doesn't smell that good. I'm just saying. I live out in the country though, so I have hard water, so that doesn't work. You don't do that. At least I don't do that. It's not a fun thing. So it's kind of like after a while it's just kind of, I'm starting to question, is the value really here? Currently, it's more like a current question. You may be questioning if it ever was. Maybe it was. Maybe you're looking back like at one point there was, but now it's not. Maybe that's how you're looking at it. I'm getting that's like a very highlighted piece of whatever you're dealing with, kind of like it was, or at least it seemed like it did have a great value at one point, but currently it does not seem to be doing that. And the energy does not want to work with you. Whatever you're dealing with, be it a job or a person, does not want to work with you. In fact, might be enjoying being a pain in your butt. The Devil card here with the Two of Wands, or Two of Swords. It's Two of Swords. It's a different card. Two of Swords. They're just blocking you. And they seem to be very big on just doing that. It's like there's like this superiority complex for them. That they get to block you and stop you, and they're always 2 steps ahead of you. Although I feel like it's easy to be 2 steps ahead of somebody when you're the one creating the game. So, you know what I mean? It feels something like that. Like this is, whoever's doing this to you is kind of setting the rules and creating the game. So if you're making up the game as you go, the person making up the game as they go, it's not so hard for them to be 2 to 3 steps ahead of you if they're the ones creating the rules anyway. I mean, I'm just saying. You know, I wouldn't say that was a really big mark of intelligence. If you know what I mean? It's kind of like when you know what's going to happen and then you're getting in somebody's way that they don't know what's going to happen. How can you... Well, it doesn't matter. They're loving this. I want to be careful with that. That seems a little harsh, too. They like messing with you. I'm getting the hiccups with it. Really? The thing is, you can completely disconnect from this. Once you make up your mind that it's time to disconnect from this, I feel your energy kind of shifts. Like, for example, if we're going to use the job analogy. Once you realize this isn't for you and you're going to go somewhere else, it's kind of like, well, I'm not going to, break my back, bend over backwards. That's what I should say. I'm not going to drive myself crazy trying to make these reports great, or staying a little later, or making this all look pretty and nice for this person, or try to clean up the little teeny errors that might be here or there. Or like, I'm not going above and beyond. I feel like you'll still do the job adequately, but it's kind of like, you know what, I get here when my shift starts, I leave when my shift ends. I'm not staying here, so I'm spending a lot of time looking other places. I'm not going to invest in an outcome here anymore. I'm not going to worry if they like what I do anymore, because it doesn't matter. I'm not invested here anymore. Because something else out there wants you. It seems like something out there is just waiting for you to come forward with the Two of Cups. Something is definitely waiting for you. See, because these are good energy cards. It's shifting here. When you decide to make this change, whatever this is, the King of Cups and the Two of Cups, don't get caught up in the gender, whether it's business or something else. Something is waiting out there for you and definitely wants and sees your value. It's just, you can't go towards it. I feel like you won't go towards it until you've ended this last situation. Because I get, like, you just making up your mind will create the success here. When you're looking at the situation, it's hard to do it. I don't want to act like it's a simple, like, just go. I don't want to act like it's just simple, like, oh, just go, it's fine. I don't feel like it's simple like that. Because I do see, like, the moon coming in, like, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen if I leave here. I don't know if I'm leaving this for something worse, or if I leave this, I don't know. I feel like I'm not really regretting leaving it, but I'm like, I don't know what I'm going into, what I'm getting into with the moon. Like, I'm going to leave this situation, but I don't know what I'm going to end up getting when I go out there and finding something else. I don't know what's going to happen. There's a bit of mystery that you're not really a fan of, but that's where your success comes in. You can't get that success. Something out there is waiting to connect with you. And it can't connect with you until you leave the current situation. It's kind of like, the room is full. We got to get all this stuff out of the room if you want to change the decor and change how it feels. Like, it's kind of like having this room in your house where there's just too much stuff in it, and it's kind of dusty, and it's kind of like, the air is stagnant. First thing I got to do is clean everything, like, take everything out, put it in the garage, clean it all up, decide what needs to stay, and then while everything's out of that room, we got to clean it up, maybe paint it, maybe get some different things, sell or get rid of or put away all the stuff that wasn't working. If that was just a storage room, either store it somewhere else so that room can be functional again, or get rid of it, and then put stuff back in that room that you actually want so you can use it as a functional room, and then rebuild it for this. Kind of like that. And I hope that makes sense. Like, you got to get rid of what's in that room so you can look at it, decide where you want it to really be, and then refill it up in a functional way that actually works for you. It's not just like this room that just catches all and has stagnant air and just you don't like going in there. Yeah, there's some mystery with it. I don't know what to say about that. But I also feel like if you're not, then you do need to give yourself some credit that you've learned a lot. And you're not about to put stuff back in this situation that you didn't like to begin with. Well, you're not putting something back in this situation that you've learned over time that you don't like. So if it's a job situation, for example, you're like, well, I've decided that I don't like this type of job and this type of thing. Like, make it really simple if it's a job thing. For maybe you've worked on the phone for a financial institution, which there's, and the way you had to work on it, you didn't like doing it. It just didn't work for you. It just wasn't your thing. You just didn't like it. So you're like, well, I know I don't want to fill it up with that again. And you're like, maybe I don't even want to work for. Then you have to, like, maybe I don't want to work with the public at all in that sense. Maybe that's what you don't like. Behind the scenes is good. If I can do numbers and stuff, I'm okay with that. But I don't want to work with the public directly. You got to give yourself credit. You're not going to fill this back up with something you don't want, even though there's some mystery there. You're not going to set yourself up to repeat the same problem. You're not going to do that to yourself. And because you're kind of like, I learned that the value wasn't there for me, so I'm not going to do this again. So if it's like a job, or if it's a person you're walking away from, especially if it's a person. You're kind of like, well, I'm not going to put up with that type of behavior again. Sometimes I feel like this happens to more people than not, where especially when we're younger. That's subjective, I know. There's certain characteristics that you think are fun or dangerous or interesting, and then after maybe a couple months or a few years even, you're kind of like, well, it was fun and interesting before, but now it's just toxic. It's not actually a good thing. It's not exciting like it was. It's just annoying or undesirable. So like you have moved forward. You have evolved forward. So you're not going to let that same stuff get in your way. You're just not going to let it happen. That last situation, whatever you're walking away from, by the way, it seems to try but fail at trying to block you from finding something better. So it does try to block you but fails. It doesn't seem like it has much power over you. It may think it does. It may think it can convince you it does, whatever that is, be it a job or a person, whatever it may be. It will seem to try, but it seems to fail pretty quickly. Once you make up your mind and you start stepping away and going for something better, you're like, the value isn't here for me. This isn't working out. This is not what I thought it was. And you make that decision to step forward. I don't see you looking back. I don't see you halfway doing this. It's kind of like, when you're jumping off a diving board. When you're midair, you're on your way, and you're going to go into the water, and that's how it is. Once you're midair going out into the water from that diving board, you're like, well, I'm into it now, and here we go. I don't see you turning around once you've made your decision, and it does seem like it very much gets better. It's probably going to have to go through a few stages, but it's almost like that first jump is like the hardest, and once you're in the water, you're like, this is a lot better than I thought it was. Especially using that analogy, Cancer's a water sign. Once you're in your element, it's a lot easier than you thought it was. Power comes back to you. Strength comes back to you. Control comes back to you. So whatever the situation was doing to you, where it was manipulating you and controlling you, once that's removed, your true power comes back, and it feels great. And then, like I said, there's something out there waiting for you, the Two of Cups and the King of Cups. If this is a business thing, I'm getting like a much better situation that fits you a lot better, that you're going to be respected and honored like you should be. All right, I think we're there. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Again, thank you for watching, and you have a good day.